Please welcome James Fallon, editor, WWD.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending this dinner sponsored by Renee Plessner and Associates. First of all, I suppose I should point out that I am a poor substitute for Peter Bourne. I, first of all, don't have his hair, as you can tell. I should also thank you for coming back, given all the temptations of the resort, pool, beach, sauna, and all the other things that could have lured you away from this dinner. And now that you're here, it is, yes, indeed, too late to leave. We've heard a lot about millennials throughout the day, and there's no millennial who perhaps represents the generation more than our next speaker. She's the kind of person who makes one feel inadequate. She's been an actress since she was 11 months old, has starred in a myriad of iconic roles, none more so than with a shriveled alien who kept wanting to phone home. She's been an angel, a songwriter, and myriad other roles. She's a producer with her own production company, Flower Films, has her own brand of wines, including a Pinot Noir, a Rosé, and a Pinot Grigio, has written a best-selling book, Wildflower, has her own eyewear line, Flower Eyewear, and on top of all that, her own beauty brand, Flower Beauty. Is there a theme here? That's why we're privileged to have her here with us tonight. Flower Beauty was launched exclusively at Walmart in 2013, and in the last 3 years has expanded internationally and has added its own website. So the only question remaining is there anything Drew Barrymore can't do? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce Drew Barrymore.
I love doing the beauty line because it's so inherently feminine and so much of a celebration of women. Being a mom is first. That's now number one. Everything I'm going to do is going to have a real consciousness towards, is this a job I can do and still get home in time for dinner and have days where I get to do every diaper change? Then I'm going to have to go out on certain days and work and not try to feel like the guiltiest person on the planet, which every mother understands. I think it's about being mentally healthier even than physically fit. You're not supposed to look perfect while you're making babies. Making babies is the perfection. It's about feeling good in clothes and knowing, you can get dressed up in an evening and work it for a minute, maybe get back in like a certain pair of jeans, but there's just no such thing as perfection. If you're trying to get there, you're just torturing yourself. That lack of beating up on ourselves, that's my new mantra. Women, they really look their best when they feel their best. Happiness is the best makeup.
We all want love, but if you get yourself to that mountaintop rather than being carried, that's definitely the message that I want to make sure is instilled in my own daughter.
I've spent so much of my time fantasizing about other things and being other people. Weirdly, I'm trying to somehow bring all of that back into reality. And with Flower Beauty, it's really special to be making something that's so creative and empowering.
Flower!
Do I just get up now? Okay, great. Thank you, James, for that most beautiful introduction. I think you got a glimmer of how much pressure I do put on myself, and I don't know, for a moment, I actually felt unlazy when you were giving my CV. So although I'm going to forget what you said, so I can go back to driving myself crazy to do better at all times. Thanks. Felt really good to hear all that apparently I've been doing. There's a chair here, so I guess I'll just sit down. I also would like to thank my wonderful compatriot Pete Bourne for asking me to be here. I call him the legendary Pete Bourne because, you know, he is. So, and Petra and Chris and the Mesa group and Michelle and Jody and all the amazing family that we have at Walmart, this is a pleasure to be here with you tonight and speak on all of our behalves about beauty. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, what's the theme here? What are we talking about here? The theme is beauty. This is a beauty summit. WWD is about beauty. And when I was in my early 30s, I don't know, I sort of suspected in a hypothetical psychic kind of way that my life would start to transition. And it was very similar to when I was 19 and I didn't want to just be an actress. I wanted to be a producer. I wanted to have ownership, which I think is an empowering world and lacks the sort of bite of ambition and control that can have, you know, they can be misconstrued with a greedy negativity, and that was never my intention. I just really loved being involved and getting phone calls or waiting for that phone to ring, which it just never did in my world. I liked building a phone and calling others. I liked being a part of how something actually manifested. And I think if you sit back and sort of hope and wish and dream, nothing really happens. You really have to go out there and make it happen for yourself. So I loved making movies, and so I started a production company. And then in my 30s, I, thought, I've been doing this for 35 years. What else is there? 30 years. And at that very odd, cataclysmic aligning of the stars, CoverGirl had called me and asked if I wanted to be a spokesmodel, which is ironic because I don't see me and the word model in the same sentence. I just don't. I'm just so not that girl. I like to dance in my giant underwear in my closet and do music and it's almost like dating. The best part of a date is the getting ready, and the date doesn't even matter. It's that moment of joy that everything is possible, but it's just this alone, empowered, I'm so free and I'm such a girl. I don't know what it is for you men. I don't know what you do before the date or how you get ready. I'd love to know. I would. But for us girls, it's this 30-minute window where there's so much joy. And I always thought, when CoverGirl called, I was I'd want to channel that side of myself, that moment where girls really do feel like they're everything for the version of them. It's not austere and it's not bitchy, cold marketing. You have to black rain and be somebody else. I just don't relate to that. I like joy and happiness and empowerment and being made to feel like I want to be the best version of myself. So circling back, Steven Spielberg told me when I was 7 years old, I had just done E.T., and all these endorsements were raining in, Tang, if anybody remembers Tang. Tang called, McDonald's, you name it, and my mother was cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I mean, single mother, West Hollywood. She was seeing dollar signs everywhere, and rightfully so. We needed to earn a living, and Steven Spielberg said, please don't do that. Have board vision. Don't sell out. Name slapping is bad. It is short-lived, and it won't pay off in the end. And if you really want to have a long career, you should be incredibly selective. And at 7, I was ding, got it. I don't know how that all registered so clearly, but it did. And so even 30 years later, when CoverGirl called, I was yeah, no, I shouldn't do any endorsement deals, but thank you. And then they were such wonderful people, and I had such a positive experience sitting down with them, and I was thinking about that girl and the panties in the closet and the hopes and dreams and joy factor, and I just thought, and if Helmut Newton could really channel that and do clean marketing and just a header, and we could kind of take the font and the graphics and the economics and the unrealistic scenarios. And I love Josh. It's that moment in Clueless. And I was I love the idea of running these campaigns. But anyway, I'm a producer, so, here's what I would do with it. But thank you very much for calling. I'm just not doing any deals ever, so thank you. And they called a year later and said, what if we made you co-creative director and you could run all the campaigns? And I thought, ooh, closet girl. Yeah, okay, let's get Irving Penn on this. Let's get clean. Let's get, it's an all ages party and everyone's invited. It's an all economics party and everyone's invited. How can we bring inclusion into beauty? This was my goal, and this was my marching orders that I put upon myself for 7 years at CoverGirl. And when my beautiful contract ended and we all parted ways with such incredible, amicable, mutual admiration, societal handshakes, Walmart called, Mesa called. There was another aligning of the stars, and it was at a moment in my life where, as much as I love acting, and I will always do it, and it will always be my first love, and I will always go back to the well, I'm always trying to ask myself, what else is there in life? What if you could live a life where you do so many different things, and you kept it scary and interesting and intimidating and not familiar or safe? So Walmart challenged us to come up with an idea for their needed white space, 4 feet to be correct and exact, that wasn't a Me Too. And that word, I hadn't really heard it, and Carmen Bauza said it, and it just stuck in my head. And I thought, yeah, because I just came from CoverGirl, and I know what the mass brands bring to the market, and they speak to me, and they don't need to be doubled. They're just perfect the way they are. So what could we bring to this? And so we came up with our Flower Beauty business model, which was to bring luxury brands. The Walmart customer was saying, we can get the best of everything, and we just want to challenge you on this and that and the other thing. And so we thought, what if we brought luxury formulas into the mix and changed our profit margins and put our marketing dollars into the formulas and went to the best labs and challenged them to change their profit margins and asked them if we could Robin Hood this motherfucker and tell them that we want the best formulas for a different price. And I would take less money, and I would put my money into it, and I would figure out a new way to market this company, because in the day and age of social media, you have to think differently. Even the majors put all their eggs in the social media basket. So here we were with a great idea, and sometimes with a great idea and not enough time and money comes the innovation that should be paralleled with the demand of innovations of what the formulas and makeup should be every year. So I sort of put acting on the back burner and had 2 beautiful daughters and thought about the romance of, once again, the marketing was sort of left on all of our shoulders, and I thought, what do women want? I'm making girls inside of my own body. What do we need? And for me, it's always going to fall back on the sword of joy and positive messaging and great empowerment and finding things that, in all of our packaging, we have little messages that happiness is the best makeup. And I'm sorry, but your smile is going to outshine any lipstick you buy or put on. And beauty is from within. And we're just looking to put a little something on top that makes us feel the most confident when we walk in a room, because nobody knows what to think except for what you exude. If you're walking in like an insecure nut bag, they're going to smell an insecure nut bag. But if you walk in and you're like, hi, I'm feeling okay inside my skin, and I'm looking to collaborate, and I want to learn more, and I want to partner, and I think women can also really sense a lack of competitiveness with each other. The beauty business is so saturated with so many products that we are just never going to be standalone. I'm sorry, but we won't. So the best opportunity we have is to make room for one another and promote and support and cheer each other on, because that's what women do best, is they have each other's backs and they make each other feel like they can do anything, and it's a really incredible thing. Again, I don't know how it is for you men, but I'm dying to know. So meet me afterwards and tell me. But I do love men, and I am not a man basher in my love of women. I just have had a life where I've had 2 daughters. I love girls. I love girl power. And I'm working in an industry that is very focused to women. And I've made a lot of movies and done a lot of storytelling that is for women. And, at the end of the day, I think storytelling is one of the things that I really care about. How do we translate an emotional message? How is something not just a product or functional? How is something actually going to make us happier, feel better, not be the nut bag? These are important things in our beauty concepts. And as far as a company, we started at Walmart. Imagine doing your upstart at the world's largest retailer. That was incredibly intimidating, but also just that kind of fear you need to work your ass off. And I like that. I like taking ownership. I've never been a good name slapper. I feel like I'm so impressed with those people that do manage to make a killing at that. But I feel like there's one day where you get a phone call where we thought, we had a great ride here, but there's, the next best thing is coming in. And I think when you really take ownership of your company, you're thinking about board vision and longevity and not a greedy cash out sort of outlook that makes you wake up every day and put all that it takes to work in the beauty business. It is an exhausting business. I can't believe how one day you are just riding so high and you're like, we did something amazing. And then you wake up the next day and they're like, more. What have you done for me lately? And you're like, oh, shit, it's just like social media. It feels just like high school. You're just never get to the top of the mountain. And when you do, you get knocked right off, rightfully so, by someone else doing something innovative and cool and viral and this and that. So this is a business that really is an all-in life, focused business. But I think it's a really positive and empowering one to be in. And we're going into our 4th year. Our sales are up. Yay, phew. God, those years where they're down, you just want to go home and kill yourself. It's awful. And they happen because you got to have the highs and the lows, and nothing is like level. But that's life, not just the beauty business. And we expanded into fragrance after our 2nd year, and it's managed to be about 14 plus 15, 20% of our revenue, which has been an extraordinary endeavor. We went from 1,600 stores in our first year to, oh my God, Michelle, what are we in, 4,000 now? I mean, how cool is that? In 4 years, we managed to, triple. I'm a Pisces, so I suck at math. Is that tripling or quadrupling? I don't know. You do the math. But it's good, and it's an incline. I can tell up. And we've gone into bags and brushes and are being incredibly successful in that category. And then we launched eyewear, and we managed to become the #1 company in eyewear in the world's largest retailer. Phew. Now they want readers. So that was like a short-lived, next category, right. Yeah, keep going, not enough. Got it. Love it. God forbid we rest on our laurels. That's not what the beauty business is about. It is about the next best thing for her. It is about innovations. We take incredible pride in our brushes. They are made at the same factories and labs that the prestige brushes in, crimped upside down so those damn hairs don't fall out. I mean, the horn and the gold hot stamping, we barely make a profit on those, but they're our highest seller, go figure. And it's great, and it is a prideful moment. And I think that beauty is about, the thing that I loved about producing, and I didn't have parents growing up, so I loved the idea of learning to be a producer because it taught you the rules of functionality. How do you designate money? Who are the bosses? Who are the funders? What are the boundaries? How do you make it all back? How do you get to do it again? And for me, it was sort of a form of self-parenting, was really learning the art of business. But I come from the art of emotionality, and I'm a girl, we're emotional, as if you men didn't know that. That's what makes us women, and compassionate and empathetic, and seemingly crazy, but there is so much upside to the way that women function, and I wouldn't want to be anything else in the world. But I think that business and creativity also have found such an amazing place in my heart and daily life. And the intense pressure I put on myself, and it's very much in keeping with my upbringing in producing the beauty business, is about creativity and functionality and business. And it's just been an incredible ride. And as we start to attack other territories outside the US, we're looking at Asia and South America, the innovative and clamoring, amazing beauty markets. We are exclusive and loyal to our Walmart family nationally and looking to always push each other to do bigger and better things and get our messages out there, because we're not taking ads out in every newspaper. We just don't put our money there. We literally put it into our formulas, because ultimately the customer is going to get that in their hands. And I'm so proud of that, but it is a great challenge at times. And I'm very excited for where we're going next. Our branches of the tree hopefully will be a connective nucleus that always start with the color cosmetics category. That is how we were born. That is who we are. And fragrance bags, brushes, we've gone into bath and body. Those are all great and making sense connections to how we evolve. I've said we're in like an above the neck business for now, fragrance, eyewear. But as we focus on the rest of the body and how to grow this company, I know that we'll want to do it in ways that once again are a slow and steady wins the race, ungreedy, sort of spread yourself too thin kind of way. Our categories are going into everything from bath and body that trickles down into candles and lifestyle, everything from eyewear and fragrance that go into readers and bath and body and skincare. Grow yourself, although you just want to be bigger and better every single day so that you can keep doing it. I'm sorry, but the definition of success is employment. I mean, come on, that really is the definition of success. So as we try to just keep our place, in our wonderful 4 feet at Walmart and our .com and our other territories, as we so fortunately and humbly and gratefully get invited into them, we are going to grow this company, but we are going to grow it in a way that is strategic and thoughtful. As the day we decided to take this company on. And beauty is extraordinary. I mean, you're all in the makeup business. I remember being in like Kevin Aquan's chair and Pat McGrath like doing her like foundation on a plastic plate and then like spattering it on my face and just being like, I get to be Pat McGrath's canvas for the day. And, being with Dick Page and Gucci Westman, and, I just did a huge thing on my social page about Makeup Artists Week. Troy Surratt, who came from Kevin Aquan, it's like, I follow all of you. I'm a little sycophant, a fangirl to all the people in the beauty industry. I got put in a makeup chair when I was 6 years old, and they used to, like, pat me with blush and like kind of make me feel like I was involved and empower me, but I would look at the women next to me with their curlers and their eyelash crimpers, and I was like, one day I want to be like them. And that moment is like being let into the backstage of a bunch of bitchy ballerinas and thinking, one day I want to be like them. But I didn't have that body type, so I had to go with the beauty people. And I just love it. I love this world. I love being behind the curtain of it. And the best thing about being behind the curtain of the beauty world is for women to go out there into the world feeling their goddamn best about themselves. And if we can have anything to do with that, then we have done our jobs. So thank you very much for having me as your keynote speaker. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, James. Thank you, everybody, for this incredible opportunity. I will continue to crucify myself day in and day out to really just bring it. And that's what it is about. It is about innovation. And I will leave you with this story. I remember we were like 4 years into the company, and it was like late, and I had like 2 daughters, and I was just like, I like literally was like walking around like Jabba the Hutt. I was like, oh. And we launched 30 to 40 new products every year. We only have 200 SKUs. So, we're basically half or a quarter, again, the math, whatever you do it. we push ourselves to re-innovate and keep up with the Joneses because you have to. We don't even let a product sit there if it's not working. And we were like, I'd been to every lab across the country trying to fight the good fight and bat my eyelashes and talk about the crusade for women. And here we were in the San Fernando Valley, somewhere between like a porno house and a bar, I don't even know. And it was Christmas Eve and everyone was burnt out. And out comes like Judy, like Willy Wonka on her cane. And we're like, whoa, okay, here we go. And she unearths this most innovative product. It's our new EE cream. And it truly is the most incredible innovation I've ever seen in the 6 years we've been building this company. And that night, I drove home with the window open and the music blasting and a new sense of energy that I was completely lacking. And it was all because I thought, some woman's gonna love this. How cool is that? Thank you so much. Anybody has any questions, I'm going to get back on the stage and answer them.
More time on the rack.
Oh my God, who's that? Oh, Pete! Pete Oz.
So I'm the icebreaker here. We're going to ask you a couple questions.
You always are.
And I'm sure you're going to love it. Speaking purely of beauty, what was the best aha moment you've ever had, both personally and business-wise?
I think it really was that moment where we thought, instead of carving out all this money for marketing and being a smaller upstart company, that if we put that money directly into our formulas, we could actually have a different company. And that we would be able to serve up that same lipstick that is normally charged for anywhere from $40 to $78 and be able to charge it for $6 to $8. So to me, that was an aha moment.
Was it easy doing that? And
No, I had to beg and borrow and steal, sometimes from myself. I was like, I'm robbing myself, but that's fine. I gave up, my own shares and profits because I wanted something for the greater good. And that's also a great way to continue to have skin in the game and just take that risk even all the deeper and farther, is just believe in it. Go all in,
Well, once you did that, were you basically able to recoup in the future and
Yeah, I think we are constantly shuffling our funds around. I think we get to really good places that enable us to continue, but I think we're the kind of company really that sits down and thinks, where can we allocate our funds that ultimately is going to end up in that customer's hands? And it's not a stupid business model. People are making money off of it. We would not still be in Walmart if they weren't. Mesa would have kicked me out a long time ago, or vice versa. Everybody's smart and intelligent and mathematical. Greg, if you're here, you are a math genius, and I suck at it. But I think everyone understands the intentions of, we've now also set a bar for ourselves of this luxury formula mantra, so we can't kind of go against it anymore, or ever. So we kind of know the bar we've set, and we're going to continue to do the limbo underneath it, no matter what it takes. But I'm happy to say we're, whatever that is. That's all I care about. Can we keep going? Are we doing good? Great.
doing great.
How do we make that woman really get something that's going to knock her socks off? That was my aha moment.
Great. Very fun presentation.
Oh, thank you. It was the porno house in the valley, right? Just kidding.
Pretty that and the math stuff. Do you have any plans to expand into other points of distribution?
Like other categories or other stores? Sorry, I'm like, what? That's me being stupid. And I got a laugh out of it. And they're laughing at me. That's the best part.
Both.
Yeah, well, we're exclusive to Walmart in America. And I think obviously we're looking to always give their affiliates the first right of refusal when we go internationally, because how great would it be if we could stay within the family, and if it's just not within their zeitgeist and time and money and functionality, then we continue to go elsewhere. But we're very loyal because we know what a good thing we have with them. It's been an inspired, realistic, hard-pushing relationship. I think that there are times where we can discuss the idea of other venues that don't hurt but enable Walmart's plight to constantly get our awareness up. So we have a couple venues in mind that we're going to approach them with that just don't take away from them, because that exclusivity also is the ownership for them that you need to have that loyalty that we want from them. So it works both ways, but I think as we're trying to always grow and expand, are there a few things, maybe even outside the color cosmetics realm, that we were really loyal to them in the beginning with? Are there other categories that we can start to enable in other venues that only behoove our Walmart profits? So in some ways, I'd love to be everywhere, in every place, but in that slow and steady, ungreedy, wins the race kind of mentality that I was raised on in film and in my companies, and to not name slap and to not spread yourself too thin or even go too many categories at a time, or you like lose the connection of what you're doing. If you don't personally be involved in every aspect of it, you've lost the connection and you've lost the authenticity. If something's working, it's because of the group of people that were involved in the beginning. However, I don't think I'm the only key ingredient. You're only as good as the team of people you work with. So we've been working with the same people since day one. But yeah, we would love to grow. And if you have any ideas, I'll be drinking rosé in that corner afterwards. What have you got in mind? We'll talk.
And then finally, are there challenges that surprised you most about the beauty industry?
I just think that it's an incredibly all-consuming job. And nothing in my life has, like I said, that phone just never rang. There was never like that amazing filmmaker calling me. Well, once or twice, okay. So once or twice that happened. But for the most part, like I never got to sit back and be like, I'm just an actress and people are gonna call me and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna get jobs. I lost my career at one point, so I'm very grateful for it. I really get how hard. It's like nothing comes easy and nothing comes that isn't earned. You have to put the work into it. You sit there like, I just like a kid and a dreamer in your living room with your fingers crossed, but you're just not really accomplishing your goals. But if one person walks in that room, then all of a sudden you're spitballing and things start to come to life, and another person walks in the room, and that's the value of the team. You don't accomplish anything by yourself, and you don't accomplish anything without putting infinite % into it. So the beauty business, I guess it wasn't a surprise, but it certainly was no different than the other few businesses that I've had the fortune and humble pleasure and honor to work in. It's exhausting, and it's 24 hours, and it's 7 days a week. I don't have to tell any of you, you're all in it. I'm new here, but it is an all-encompassing job. It's not a hobby, that's for sure. Not that I thought it was going to be, but is it a really tough business. But I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. I really, truly appreciate your time. I know, as you said, James, so eloquently, you could be doing a multitude of other things, and I'm really honored to be here tonight. And I'm sweating like Albert Brooks in the end of Broadcast News. Do you remember? It looks like he's dying and having a heart attack. Yeah, good news, me too. Bye.